Hello everyone, welcome to Axure Interactive Components tutorial, and today I'm going to talk about how to create login form with Captcha in Axure. So I'm going to create a login form with error validation and with Captcha. So here I have divided in steps how to create login form with Captcha. So here I have in step 1 form layout and design. So first we'll set up the form layout and design, then we'll naming of input field and the style effect, then inline form validation and error message. After that, set up a captcha. And how we'll set up captcha? So we'll generate random number and the string, and then we'll create a button that will refresh the captcha value, and finally validation on click of OK button if form is filled successfully. If form is not filled successfully, we'll get the error message, that is OK button form validation, and if it is filled successfully, we'll get the successful login message. So here I have an example which will show you all the steps. So while clicking on login, it is saying required field, and while give the name, it is showing the checkbox, means it is filled correct. And suppose if I remove this, it is showing the required field with the red border. So while I'm entering the name as a numeric, it is showing invalid input, and when it is a blank, it is saying the required field. So we'll give a name here, Ram, and then password. So password, it is correct. If I remove it, it will say required field. And then captcha. So in captcha, you can see here it is the value which is randomly generated, and once I click on the refresh, it is refreshing the value of captcha. So it is not refreshing the entire page, it is just refreshing the value of captcha and generating the random value. Now we'll enter the captcha text which is here. So like E697 and W. So it is corrected. Now we'll click on login successful. So overall we are going to create the same, and we'll start. So demo page. So first we'll create form layout. So here first we'll drag and drop a box, and before that just one header to align this box. Now the next, We'll give the border and some shadow. Next, we need input field or a text field, and then label. So username, will align on center, and then if you want to make it this text field border, so you can make it this, and align the username. So same way, this is username, then we can take the password, so making a line this all text, it's an easy way to use the box instead giving the label. So you can align accordingly. Now this username, we'll place it here, and the password the same way. So now it is easy to align. Just make it, if you want, it is like that. Align this and then remove the border. So the next, we need to add username, password, then captcha. So before that, we'll lock it, and so captcha will be, you know, and instead of this, we'll use this box, or we can have the captcha value inside this text box. So in a text field, we can increase this height so it will be a visible captcha, and make the width little less so we can have the icon which is refresh. And then we'll have finally we'll have this login button. So now we need to think about the error message. So suppose if this cap is very less here, so if we want to show the error message, how will appear? So for that, what we'll do, increase this height and we'll give some gap in between. So we'll keep the 30 pixel gap. And then finally this login button. So form layout and design is done. Now we will name it and we'll add the error scenario. So let's start with naming. Username. So input will keep it as a common. Now password. Then this is a captcha text, or we'll say random captcha text. And this login button. Now we'll assign this input field in interaction. So here input type text, this is fine. Input type text, so we need to change password. This won't need to work, and here this is text. And if you want to add the hint text, you can add it here, like enter username, enter password, enter captcha text. So now naming is done. Next is validation. So error message we need to add. So now we are in step 3 and we are going to validate this form inline. So now here first we'll select this all input field and we'll go to the style effect, and here select it, where we are just assigning the value for the line color. So this will be red, order, thickness, pattern and visibility. Say OK. Now setting the inline validation. For that, while user are going to input on this text field, it will show the error message. So here text change set visibility this widget and say OK. Now we are going to add the cases. So enable the cases, add logic. First it should be a blank. So suppose if this widget is blank, it will show the error which is like a require field. So here error username, this will show, which I have made it hidden, and then set panel state error username going to be a require. Now the next case, when user has given the wrong input. So text on a widget this is numeric, so it will show the next error. So here we are going to set the panel for the username invalid input. Now blank is done and the invalid input is done. We are going to add the success scenario. So here text on a widget does not equal to text blank, and text on a widget this is alpha. So now it will show you the check which is say like successful, and it will hide other cases. So hide, we can hide this username dynamic panel. So same way we are going to hide the success scenario. Suppose why, I will show you here. So now I have entered the username, suppose numeric, it is saying invalid input, and this is right. Now I removed it, and again we are saying this and this. So that's the reason, while it is a required field, it should hide this check. And even we are going to change this selected state, so it will show the error. So first we are going to add this selected state. For that, just check this widget true, and we are going to hide this username check. So here this, and just going to hide this. Now say selected check this widget going to true, because this is an error scenario, and this is going to hide this. And here this is getting checked, and this widget false, because this is a success scenario. Now we'll preview. So here invalid input. So here also we have given, but it is showing the invalid input still. So what is the reason? So here you can see show error username show ye username check, and so just we need to hide it. No worries, preview again. So first we'll input the number, it is invalid and required. Now we are going to input this is right. So this is taking the right. Invalid input and the valid input. So the same we are going to add with the password also, but password will have the different scenario. So here this widget okay, and we are going to add the cases. Text on a widget this equal to blank, so it will show this error for password enter password, so it is required. And if it is a success scenario, text on a widget does not equal to text blank, then it is going to show password check. And if it is error, we are going to set this checked this widget true, and we are going to hide this so password check. So password check is going to be hidden. And here we will make this widget selected false, and we are going to hide this error password. Done. We'll preview this. So I have given RAM here, and 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is required. And now the same way we are going to do with this captcha also. And after this step, we are going to generate the random number in captcha. So before that, we are finished this validation part. So overall, we are going to do the same thing here. This is the one input field, and here this is the example, and this is the refresh button. So what we need to do, enter captcha text. So for time while I'm going to remove this hint text. So this we are going to add the validation. So set this widget, say okay, and text on a widget this equal to text on a widget. I have given name as a random because that is generating the random number. So random, then it is a successful scenario, so it will show the right captcha. And if it is a error like a text on a widget this does not equal to text on a widget random, so it will show this widget as a true, and we are going to add here error message. So error message will be so captcha. So here is for the error message. So this is for the wrong input does not equal to text or random. So we are setting this state panel as a invalid input. So same way we will make for the blank which is required. So for that, add case text on a widget this equal to text blank. So error and state will be required, and set check this will be true, and we are going to hide this from all. So this is the error scenario, so we'll hide this, and this is the error scenario, we are going to hide this. And here we are going to set selected checked this widget false, and we are going to hide this error caps. So error, this will be hidden. So here we have 1, 2, 3 scenarios. Now we'll preview. So here username I have given Ram, password 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then this is the example I'm going to write here, EXAMPLE. So you can check, it is saying invalid input. So once I'm writing in, then also it is saying the invalid input. So why it is not checking this? So here while I'm getting input, this all, so here we'll check this and we'll preview again. So it is 1 2 3, and here example. So it is right, and now we are, so this 1 2 3 validation is done. Now we need to work on the captcha and the login. So while click on the login, it should show all these required field. So before that, we are going to work on this captcha thing. So we are going to change this font to some simple font which can be readable. So we'll take this and we'll increase the font size. So it is fine. So now we will work on this captcha random value generation, numeric as well as string value. So here for the error message, we'll use the label which will say required. Use the star. And this one also required. So here this will be required. Now this one will have this two error scenario like required or invalid input. So I will convert this to the dynamic panel and we'll say state 1 required and state 2 will make a invalid input. So in invalid input, here we'll give invalid input. Here we need just a required, and here also we need required plus invalid input. So what we'll do, just copy this here and name this as error username, and this error password, and this you can say error captcha. Now I'm going to hide this all, and we need a check. Once it is a right input, so this check will appear beside that. So as per your theme, you can use the color. So here I'm using this green color, and we'll name it username check. And same, we'll drag and drop here, middle align, you can say password, and the same way in captcha. So here we'll give name captcha check. Now we'll hide this. Now moving to the next, which is validation. So error message is done. Now inline validation. So for inline validation, what we need to do. So now captcha, how will generate the random value. So there are some functions we are going to write here, like first we'll select this, and here we are going to load and say the set text on the random number, and the value will be something this. So what is this function? So here this is the math dot floor, which will generate the random number between 900 minus 100, and here the same math function which will generate the random characters. But here this is a, I have just defined this global variable which is curdweb. So it is taking this with the 26. So total number of alphabet is 26 minus 1. So it will generate always the character with this -1. So before that z like y, and here the same alphabet will generate with the if it is a x, then y and z. So -1, and so it will be going in a loop. So before that we are going to add this curd wave as a global variable. So here already it is in global variable. So what we are going to add in this global variable, I will show you. So here you will get this project global variable, so which I have created here, curdweb, and here I have given the values, default values A to Z, and small and caps. So it will generate the different faces like a small or capital letter. So we are going to generate this, means A to Z dot caret, math floor. So what it will do, math.random, it will minus with the 26, total character is 26, minus 1, and here also 26 minus 1 and plus 1. So it will generate this value. So how it looks like, we'll see this. And now we are going to give this refresh. So before that we will, so here it is 0656H. So this is correct, but we need to refresh, we need to give this refresh also. So for that, what we need to do, just select this and give new interaction on click or tap, will fire this event. So fire event on this add event will say loaded, and where it will fire, so our target will be random, so random number text box. So while it is loaded, so this event will fire, which is here in loaded. Okay, so we'll preview this. So it is coming as 403D. So it's showing invalid. So we'll refresh. Okay, now P87M, this is valid. Suppose if you want to refresh again, so it will be F61 and V, which is valid. So suppose if you want to generate a more than 4 character and 6 character, you can increase and decrease the value in this, which is here. So in random, so here is the value for the math.random 900 and something it is given. So you can increase this as 10,000, and then you can generate the value, and instead you can give 10. So it will increase this in a 6 digit, where you can see this 4 digit is the math, and then this 2 is the alpha. So why it is 2 alpha and math and means numeric, so you can check here, like I have given the 10k minus 10, and here we have given minus 1, so one character and one character, and it will show like. So now here can see, and now we'll validate. So it is not right input. So this is the right input. So this validation is done, and this refresh is working fine. And suppose when it is blank, so invalid input because it is checking. And for the invalidation, can check here random number. So if text on this equal text on random number, so say show this right and hide this, then so if it is blank, it is showing require and error capture. So this is fine. Now we are going to add finally the login button interaction. So now in login button interaction, we'll select this login button, and while we click on this, so it should say like all the required field is like this 1, 2 and 3. So we can add here text on a widget this does not equal to text blank. So which widget? So here we are going to call the username, input username, and then password. So we'll select input password, and then input password, username, and then the captcha. So if these all are equal to blank, then it will show one by one all the messages which is given here. So what all message is given? So we can use this and we can show this error also, or one by one we can show. So there is a multiple way to show this error on clicking on this. So here I am going to show this. First is username, so we'll show this user name and we'll set the panel state of username as required, and the next one is for the password, so show air password, and then we'll show for the captcha error captcha, and the state panel will be required. And if it is right, we are going to add this logic. So text on a widget this and username does not equal to text blank. The same way password, and the same way for captcha. So it will show the right. And here we can add some successful message. We can add here. You can say login successful. I will preview. Before that, we'll give this also when it is successful. So it will show login successful. And if any error occurred in between, so we'll give this all scenario as a hide. So you can copy this and you can paste it after that and say this hide, say this hide, this hide, and this also hide. Now we will preview. So username. Okay, before that I'm going to hide this, then we'll preview. Yeah. So username Ram, password 123455 I have given, and here we are getting this H2301, and this is R. This is fine. Login successful. Now the same way I'm going to reload this page, and here I didn't input anything. It is saying required, so all are required. And even we can give this rate field also. And suppose I have written some name, it is getting displayed and it is saying required. And the same way, even I am given the password, if I am removing this, it is saying this. And this captcha also, if I am giving the invalid input. So once the user will give the name, then password, and then captcha, then we'll login successful. So this is done, and some of the modification I'm going to do here right now, like clicking on the login, it's so all in a red. So this username error, so here checked, so this widget true. And the same way uh, for error password, so this widget going to true. So here I didn't change this. This is the for username, and this is for the error password. So for selected true, input password is true, and then we have this error captcha. So error captcha, we can do this. Is true. And the same, if it is a success scenario, we are going to hide this. So just let me check this is going to be copy or not. Yeah, so we can make it false, false, and false. Now done. So this interaction, so we will give the style effect. Selected will fill color with some this, and say OK. And here, while we going to click this, so we will say set selected checked, this widget true. Now we can preview. So username, password, and this, and 4644C, and then login successful. So we can change, it is getting highlighted. So captcha is getting generated. Now this we are going to change, and this login. So login, we can give this style. So in login, we are going to give the style. For fill color this, and font color this. Then we have added auto shadow. So while we are going to remove this, it is things like that. Now okay, so we'll work on this login successful. So now we're going to fill this with some color. We can recognize make it this center and in middle, and the font color white. Font we can make it bigger, so it should be in center, middle, and it is done. And we can hide this and we can preview. So username, password, and the captcha, so J6919X, getting invalid. Try again. Okay, it's okay. Now login, it is showing login successful. So this is done, and one more thing we can add it here while clicking on login, and it is showing this success scenario. So login successful. So this scenario we can pull it down. Okay, and before that we can say wait, and then it will move to. For that, what we'll do, we'll delete this login successful, then wait, and then it will show login successful. And one more thing, while click on this, it should load the page. So click on this, open link, reload current page. Okay, and here we can make it middle align, and this we can give little shadow. Preview. T1409D. That's right. Login successful. And the same if it is an error. These all are required field. So once we'll fill it, now this is fine. So here, while going to click this, one more step is required. So, and then set selected checked. This widget should be true, and then select this, middle and center, and preview. Now it is fine. So in today's lesson we have covered all. We set up a form for layout design and naming, input field and style, inline form validation, captcha setup, random number and string generation, create button that refresh a captcha, and finally OK button which will validate form as well as successful login message. So I'm going to add this link for the demo, and so you can check, and even I will add the download link below this video. For today, thank you. We'll see you in next lesson, next video with new interactive component. Thank you. Thank you very much.